Okay, with all the stuff in the media and on TikTok about Diddy and Jay-Z and a bunch of other people, I think it needs to be said that it's not just rappers, and that's not just the culture that it's in either. I was also watching something on Peacock yesterday called Menendez and Menudo plus Menudo. And if you're younger, maybe you don't know, but the Menendez brothers shot and killed their parents, but they said that their father had been sexually abusing them their whole lives. Their father was head of RCA Records, and members of Menudo have said that their manager, I guess he's the manager, was doing a lot of things to these young boys, and also one of the Menudo members said that the head of the RCA person, the Menendez guy, Jose Menendez, had brutally done something to him after drugging him. And then on a call with one of the Menendez brothers while they were in jail, he asked if he knew that, like, his dad was really interested in Menudo and stuff, and he said that his dad would bring members of Menudo over alone, one by one, and have meetings with these children, which is exactly what the one Menudo member said happened to him. And basically the manager or founder, whatever, Menudo, was not only abusing these children, but more or less pimping them out to the head of RCA Records. And we know it happens also all over Hollywood. We know it's also in film. It's not just the music industry, it's also in movies. A lot of famous people have come out saying, including Matthew Lawrence, saying like, that he was told, I think, wasn't it, that if he didn't participate in something, he wouldn't get the role. I think, was it? I don't know. But a lot of people come out saying things like that. So let's not just focus on like Diddy and his friends, because honestly, it's the whole entertainment industry, and it's also the politicians, it's the government, and people saying like, oh, Diddy was friends with Trump. Well, there are also pictures with Diddy with Kamala. So it's just it's everyone in power, honestly, and it's disgusting. And I've said for years, why are they not saving children that are being kidnapped and trafficked and so on? Is because, well, TikTok won't let me say this because I tried to say this years ago and they say I'm spreading misinformation. But everyone, including the higher ups are all together, and it's everyone's in on this. I mean, when certain things start to come out every so often, every few years, then people get, and information stops coming out, and people just randomly forget that these things have happened, or people get paid off, and they no longer speak about things, and the public just moves to the next hot story. But stuff doesn't go away, and it's been happening for years. And it's not just recent. Like, people from the 80s were trying to tell you they were being sexually abused, that were children's, like, child stars. People before that. Like, was it Shirley Temple? Or was it Judy Garland? I don't know. One of them went in for like a role, and was it the director, I think, pulled their pants down, and the child was like, and she told her mother, and her mother said, oh yeah, he did that to me too, as if it's no big deal. And also the poor children in all these industries, because it's right there in front of the parents' face. It's the same with Menudo. Eventually some parents did find out about things happening in Menudo, and they were paid off to stay silent and bribed that they would get to be around more often. Like, the parents need to love their kids enough to stand up for them and not put them in these kind of environments and industries. People need to also know their self-worth and not trade themselves for fame and so on. Not take any drinks that are handed to them or any drugs, because they will unfortunately get taken advantage of. I'm not blaming the victims at all. And I personally have been a victim of sexual abuse more than once. So I definitely know it's not the victims. I'm just saying, if other and people who are in these environments should be standing up for other people who they see. It's because all these people, there are always, in these Diddy parties and so on, all these famous people know everything that's going on, whether they're at these parties or not. They know what's going on and all the pizza things and so on. And if people just stand by and let it happen, even if they're not participating, you're just as guilty, because you could have fucking said something. You could have stood up. Oh, but you're scared. I understand, because you don't want to be, Anne Heche, along with many others. But I don't know. I feel like people are always too scared to just stand up. Like, nowadays it's even worse, because nowadays we live in a culture where people just pick up their phone and record things that's happening instead of stepping in and saying, like, what the fuck are you doing? Stop it. Like, it's like, did everyone in the world lose empathy? Like, did everyone not think, like, what if that was me? No, everyone thinks, like, whatever, at least it's not me. That's a horrible mindset. You're a horrible person, even if you're not even the ones doing the things. If you think it doesn't matter because it's not you, you're a bad person too. Stand up for innocent people. Stand for children's children. Even, like, animals. Like, it's so sad. Like, you'll see people who are, like, abusing animals on the street and people don't say anything. Like, it's so sad. And also, people, I told this to my children the other day, but people who do things to people just because they know that that person's innocent or that person's weak or whatever, and all these people who do all these things to babies in the Hollywood and music industry, because that's not even being mentioned, but that was coming out for a few years now, about all the horrible things being done to these innocent little babies. Even Justin Bieber came out years ago with this article that he went to a church and they were doing horrible things to a baby right in front of him, and all these music execs were there, and he didn't want to participate. He came out with this article saying it. Like, it's like I was the only one that ever read the article, and that's before he started acting like crazy. Whatever, he saw it and he didn't want to participate. But then it makes you wonder, once he started being on drugs and stuff, it's like, they said he wasn't going to go anywhere with his career if he didn't participate. And it makes you wonder if he eventually, I hope not, especially now that he is a father. And I don't know, someone mentioned that he's been really crying, and maybe because he was sexually abused, but it makes me wonder because of the article I read years ago about what he saw. Yeah.